Hey there, Tyler. Hope you survived the snowstorm. You were able to make it home okay. Video lesson for today, two things I'm going to talk about. At the end, if you have any questions or you look at anything, feel free to shoot a message over and I'll be happy to do my best to answer. So we were talking last time, E form, right? And then magic triangle that note A and throw that in there. We have the C major arpeggio. For the style of music that you, or for the style of soloing that you want to do, it's in your best interest to be able to play C major notes, the notes of C major chord, all over the neck, right? And then once you come up with that, then we start adding the seventh in, and then adding other notes into it too. But right now, A, just to kind of add some little extra interest. So far we've magic triangled that A into this area, right? A, and then A, right? And we found in the spot right here, that note right there is that one, right? And then the next step is to do C form C chord. Not this one down here necessarily, even though you could do that in this situation, is doing it up here at the 12th fret. Right? So I've tabbed that out for you right here, that C form C chord. And what I'd like you to do is do the same procedure we did here. We're just going to rinse and repeat the same thing up the neck and down the neck too. So we'll have this shape right here. Right? And you can add that. You can add that G on there if you want to. It's the 15th fret. So I didn't put it in the tab or in the diagram, but you can put that too. Right? So you want to memorize that, be able to play it. Play pretty fluently. Oops. Be able to sail around that for a while. Then what I would do is to me take this one here. All of a sudden now you can connect the E form C chord. You can connect it from anywhere. You can do this if you want to. Into one big arpeggio pattern. So if I'm playing. Oh, there you go. That's a new one. So what I did there was I did the E form, right? Did that, was able to solo with it, and then I do C form, and then I try to link those two together so I can see all the possible landing spots when I'm soloing. That way, if you're not just landing on whatever willy-nilly note you happen to land on, right? You're really actually aiming for something. That way it sounds like your solo has structure to it, which it does. Right? So I would practice that. So get this under your fingers, connect it with this guy. That's just 10, 9, 8, 8, 12, shift 12 up to 15, 12, and then back down that arpeggio shape that I had there. So connecting those two things. So connecting to E form group. And you can also do this too. You can do only strings 4, 3, 2. Add that A, scooch up here. Then find A in this position right here. So use magic triangle to find where A is. There it is, right there, 14th fret, 3rd string, and add to the arpeggio. Pretty nice. If I don't see this in myself. So then what we'll do is I'll put that backing track on. You can make your own if you want. I'm just going to pick one off YouTube because it's easy. I'm just going to do that, what I just literally showed you. There's your arpeggio. Add the A in. That's C, man. So. Not myself. Right? So all I did there, except for a couple of asides, was I was just staying with those two arpeggio shapes, adding A to them, and it sounds good, right? Because it sounds like you're actually outlining a chord, which you are, right? Now you get good with that with one chord, and you do that for a while, then you can start adding other chords to it, and then your solo is really, you can really hear a change. So say if, like, for example, if I were jamming over that, like over this section here. That's all. 2, 3, 4. What I did there was I was outlining the chords that was actually in the backing track, like each individual chord. But to do that, you have to get good at like doing like one chord a lot all over the fretboard. You do another chord all over the fretboard, and then you stick them all together. So it's not like here, man. Here's like 5 arpeggio shapes. Have fun switching between them. It's a pretty steep climb if you do it that way. This is far easier and less frustrating. So anyway, so I did in that solo that before I did the other one was. I just moved between those 2 arpeggio shapes and added A to them. And it sounded neat, right? It sounded nice. I think it did. So, but that's not all that we can do though. So if we want to solo, you have to know where all the landing spots are for that chord in that position. That's the point of that exercise. The next thing to do would be to, in tandem, learn C major box 4. That's in the Rock Secrets book. I think I had you pick that up. At least you asked me about it. I'm not sure if you picked it up or not, but you should get it. It's a great book. I use it for a lot of stuff. A lot of my teaching stuff actually comes out of here. And so pattern 1 in the book is my box 4. So I just renamed it because of the way I teach. So that pattern 1, you see here, that's box 4. If you move it up here, I'm sure you can do this. It's right up here at the 12th fret. They have it marked down here at the open position, but I'm going to do it up here 12th fret because that's where I am for this arpeggio shape. And it's going to be 12. And contained inside of that, it's literally inside that. By working the arpeggio and doing the scale separately, by working that arpeggio, all those spots will light up when you're playing. You'll actually see them and go, oh, that's a great landing spot, I'm going to land there. If you try to just do the scale, just run up and down the scale, that sounds like scales, someone playing scales to me. It doesn't sound like melodious to me. So if I start that backing track again, and if I just did this, it sounds kind of just like scaly, but I'd much rather hear. Nope. Oops, try that again. Come on, look. And I take pieces of that scale and add to it. And in that spot, that's the ultimate goal of this. You don't do that right now, but the ultimate goal is to take that scale and then combine it with your arpeggio, and the arpeggio is so apparent to you that you know exactly where to land, and you've worked the arpeggio so much that you can actually hear when you're landing on a chord tone. That's the dream, right? So do that. So do the C major. Do the C major box 1 right here. Pattern 1 here, but box 4. Pattern 1 written in the book. We'll practice that. You can do sequencing patterns with it. Your favorite one, 4. Right? All those different patterns. Right, it's what you can do. Other thing you can do, but it's kind of out of the scope of today, today is something we can talk about next time if you remind me, is what I can do, now we know pentatonic, we know C major in some certain spots, and arpeggios, you can freely move between them. So say if you want a pentatonic sound, so say if I'm jamming, right? Like I said, this is maybe for another day, you can try it out if you want, but C major, arpeggio, with the A added. Pentatonic, arpeggio, pentatonic, arpeggio, major scale, arpeggio, arpeggio, pentatonic, C major, pentatonic, major. We haven't done this one yet. Oh, there's a new one. Arpeggio, pentatonic. So arpeggio run, running down A minor, pentatonic slash C major, pentatonic, major scale, arpeggio, pentatonic, arpeggio, and finally home. Yeah, separate for me, that's okay. Awesome, man. So you see what we can do is we can take each one of these things that we've learned. Pentatonics, they're not bland, they don't have to be bland, you combine them with other things. So that way you're not playing pentatonics all the time. It's just a tool in your kit. The same way that I have my workshop downstairs, I have a hammer down there, but I don't treat every job like I'm gonna use the hammer, right? I have other tools in there, but I do use the hammer sometimes when it's called for, or when I want to use it for a certain thing, right? Get the miter saw out, put molding around the house, and I can use the hammer to do that. So anyway, so you have three things to choose from when you're doing your jamming: is arpeggio, pentatonic, and major shape. And make the conscious decision between switching between those things, but always reiterating the arpeggio quite frequently, because then that'll make your solo sound more like it's outlining something. Cool, man. I'd love to see you send something over to me with that concept. If not, I will see you same time next time. Take care.